good.
Hey, Shannon, how are you today?
That's not going to help you.
I don't need any help.
It doesn't change anything.
You know, I know we're about to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers, but how about them Cowboys? Did you see that yesterday? They're still alive. They're still coming for you.
What you mean? We won the
They're
division.
coming for you.
Walk it to them. Didn't I tell
coming for
how
you.
many touchdown passes did I tell you walk it to him would have on Sunday?
Walk it to him is not walking very well right now.
Did he not throw 4 touchdowns as I said he would? Yes or no?
Did you say he would? I didn't know you said he.
Don't do that,
4
Skip.
touchdowns.
Don't do that. Don't do that, Skip.
Huh.
He was walking it to him, too. On a torn ACL, on 4th and goal, threw a tub to Alshon.
I'm not sure he was actually aiming at Alshon, but
Don't
we'll
do
talk
that.
about
Don't do that.
that.
Yes, we'll get to that in a little bit, but let's start with last night's huge AFC North battle. The Steelers clinched the division title with a big 39-38 win against the Ravens. Ben Roethlisberger became the first quarterback in NFL history to throw for over 500 yards 3 times in his career. Le'Veon Bell added 3 touchdowns, and Antonio Brown had over 200 receiving yards, including a huge catch with just over a minute left to set up the game-winning field goal. But on the defensive side, the 38 points was the most the Steelers have allowed in a game this season. So Shannon, should the Steelers be encouraged or discouraged by their performance last night?
I would be discouraged. The Steelers showed me what I already knew. Offensively, they're second to none. They're explosive. Le'Veon Bell showed again last night why he's the best running back in the game. Not only can he run it, he can catch the football. They line him up out wide. They put him in the slot. He ran a slant route on a safety for a 20-yard touchdown. There are very few running backs that can do that. They ask him to run out routes. They ask him to run in cuts, and he can run the route tree. Antonio Brown is spectacular. I mean, what do you say about a guy? What I don't understand, especially the Steelers needed a field goal to get in field goal range to beat you, and you go man-to-man coverage on Antonio Brown. Here's a guy that's...
Who's that guy who's on him? That guy, remember
used car? Used car.
Yeah, we don't need him anymore. We're good now.
They better be glad my phone wasn't working yesterday. I was getting my phone. My phone was down a little bit, Joy. Skip.
You should buy a computer so you could actually, you know, they have them now, you know.
The Steelers targeted Antonio Brown 18 times, 11 catches, 213 yards. The thing that's so frustrating for me watching the Ravens is, you know, Ben is going to go to him, and if you get beat, you make Martavis Bryant beat you. You make Jesse James beat you. You make someone else other than 84 beat you. And for some reason, unbeknownst to me, Dean Pease refused to double the guy. I get it. And this is the problem that they're going to have when they play New England, because we're going to talk about them later, Skip. You know Coach Belichick is not going to let you beat him with your best. You beat him with auxiliary pieces, he's going to walk to the middle of the field and say, congratulations, and keep it moving. The Steelers had 550 yards with no turnovers, and they won by 1 point. The Baltimore Ravens come in to that game playing outstanding defense, lead the league in INTs, was very, very high up in the plus turnover ratio. Yeah, they gave up almost 550 yards and didn't take the ball away. The mere fact that they were even in the ball game should let you know just how well offensively the Ravens offense played. Because normally when you give up those kind of numbers, Skip, you get blown out.
You do.
If I'm the Steelers, I'm very discouraged, because guess what? The Ravens was 31st in passing offense. They're 30th in total offense. Now you get a team coming in there next Sunday at about 425. They're in the top 2 or 3 in offense. Tom Brady's probably number 1 in passing. And this is what you're going up against. That's not Joe Flacco. Now, I know Joe Flacco is unbelievable. He threw the ball well, except for that costly turnover on the opening drive. But, Skip, if I'm the Steelers, I don't know how I'm encouraged about this. You gave up almost 6 yards a carry. Joe Flacco was dealing with the football, and now you get a team that's way better than I think the Baltimore Ravens coming into your building. Maybe it was a situation, Skip, because we've heard this all offseason. Everything they were doing was about this matchup, because it was going to decide who comes to the other building for the AFC Championship game. And so maybe they were looking past some of these teams. But it's hard for me to believe that they can play any better than they did offensively and only win by 1. And when this team is coming in and you know what they represent offensively, and knowing Coach Belichick will refuse to allow Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell to beat them.
So if Joe Flacco, as I call him, put up 38 points at Pittsburgh, Tom Brady will put up
He's going to be somewhere for I believe he'll be more than 38.
And yet, after all you said, and I hear your point after point after point, I got to tell you, from my heart, I've said the same things about Pittsburgh all year. I told you I'm not buying Pittsburgh, but last night, late in that game, I was impressed. I got to tell you, that was not easy what Ben and Antonio pulled off last night. And remember, the Ravens came in third in scoring defense. The Ravens came in third in pass defense. And I sat back last night, and you know how much I love me some Tom Brady, and I thought at the end of the game, Tom Brady's going to have a hard time winning that game next Sunday at Pittsburgh. I just think it's set up. Now, remember, Brady has to play tonight against a division rival. It used to be an arch rival. It's a hard game for them at Miami. Monday night, travel back to Foxborough, and then have to travel on a short week to Pittsburgh. It should be big advantage Pittsburgh. I hear all the negatives, but I'm looking at their glass as half full because as perplexing as they've been all year, I don't think since Montana to Rice I've seen a more lethal deep threat combination than Ben Roethlisberger to Antonio Brown. I was just spellbound by it. I just sat back last night and said, you're kidding. They just did it again to a team that knows them as well as that team knows anybody. And Dean Pease, is he not really good at what he does?
He's very good.
Yeah.
He's a very good DC.
I'm with you. I sat back. Remember, they get it with 2:25 left. It's 1st and 10 at their 27. And I'm thinking, no way are the Ravens going to let them do to the Ravens what they've been doing to everybody. Isn't this their MO? Yeah. Don't they just sort of stumble through the game, and then all of a sudden, 2 minutes to go, you say, okay, that's enough of this. Ho-hum, let's get rid of these guys, right? And he did to the Ravens, their arch rival, on Sunday Night Football, what they've been doing to everybody. They look bad doing it, and then when it's time, they pull it off. So it's 1st and 10 at the 27. On the first play, Roethlisberger gets sacked by Sapp, and it was a host of others, but I mean, not Sapp, by Suggs. Suggs got to him. My man T. Sizzle, he got to him. And now all of a sudden it's 2nd and 19 at the 8. What do you think's going to happen against Baltimore? When you think you're done, like you're in trouble. They're going to play some, almost some sort of prevent where you're just not going to go the length and get a field goal.
Right.
And he dumps one off to Jesse James for 6 yards. And all of a sudden it's 3rd and 13 at your 14-yard line. And I thought, that's it. Pittsburgh's done. I picked Baltimore because I just thought Flacco would have a good night against them. And he did.
He did.
I mean, I don't know how he could play a whole lot better.
No.
And that
he made one mistake on the opening drive, Skip. They were going down the field.
He did. I don't know what that was.
I don't know what he saw.
I don't know. He just threw it right to the safety. But so now it's 3rd and 13 at the 14, and Ben just nonchalantly drops back, and he just kind of hangs around in the pocket. He looks, and he says, oh, you know what? I'm going to throw it to Jesse again. He's open in the middle. I'll throw it to him. And he throws it to him for 16 yards, and all of a sudden it's 1st and 10 at the 30. And then it's incomplete, and it winds up 3rd and 4 at the 36. And I still think they're cooked. And the one thing happens that I would never have imagined. He throws it right up the boundary to Antonio, who runs right by Brandon Carr, and I don't know what Weddle's doing. I mean, how can you not? How do you get beaten by that in that moment?
And that's the thing that's so strange to me, Skip. In that situation, if he throws it to Bryant, he throws it to Jesse James again, you live with it. You don't get beat by someone using their best. We know what Antonio Brown represents. And still, on that drive, you allow him to catch 3 passes that basically beat you. Why?
You know, one reason is he's really, really good. I know you love Julio.
Yeah.
This guy is the best receiver in football, and I don't think it's even close. And this guy is 5, maybe I give him 5'10", 180. I'm not sure he's 5'10", because we've had him on the show. I've stood next to him. He's more like 5'9", 175 maybe. And nobody can cover him. And Ben has the utmost trust in him. He'll throw it into double coverage because this guy will just go get it.
And that's the thing, though, Skip. You have to understand also what makes him is that he knows he's going into the game. He's going to get double-digit targets. It makes your job a lot easier when I know I'm going into the game. And I know, Skip, think about it. He's had targets of 15, 9. Remember the second game of the, well, I don't know if it's the second game, the Jacksonville game where Antonio complained about not getting the ball. He had 19 targets being forced